Welcome back to the daily wrap up, and now we're still connected to Indah Lestari from Lab 45. And we're talking about how the Ukraine and Russia conflict is going to affect globally in an economic way. So, Indah, we've touched on how we here in East Asia, especially, we don't have that much of a close knit trade or relationship with Ukraine or Russia. But here in Indonesia itself, how is it going to directly impact us, the whole conflict?
Okay, thank you. Taking into account the potential increase in global crude oil price and depression of rupiah to US dollars, Lab 45 actually have created a simulations for each potential scenario that I've mentioned before. So in a scenario of a stalemate and proxy war between NATO and Russia, the conflict should have limited effect to Indonesia economy as OPEC member of countries adjust the production capacity. However, there is a risk of higher global crude oil price in the long run. Based on Lab 45 simulations, proxy war scenario will increase the crude oil price to 100 US dollar per barrel, as it already happened yesterday actually, due to the very early stage of the proxy war. NATO countries still have not implemented the economic sanction, which include excluding Russia from the SWIFT network. Therefore, the exchange rate of rupiahs to US dollar is still relatively stable. In our calculation, actually, when the proxy war is fully enforced, Indonesia fuel subsidy budget in 2022 might almost be doubled.
All right. And, just to give us a picture of the trade relations between Indonesia and also Ukraine and Russia, how dependent are we to these countries, or maybe not at all?
Actually, related to the trade, I don't think that we have that close of relations to the Russia. If we have to say, it is more to Ukraine, because Ukraine is the second largest wheat exporter to us. So yeah, right. Because so we have to pay attention to this condition.
That's right.
So, yeah, and it might be like the next nightmare for us, because currently we are facing like the scarcity of the cooking oil and soybean, and what's next? I cannot imagine if we will face the scarcity of wheat in the near future.
All right. So right now, of course, what we can see is that it's already affecting prices to go up. How long do you think the prices will remain high, and what policies and steps can be taken to normalize them again?
For how long the price will remain high, it is depend on three things. First and foremost is the reconciliation progress between Ukraine. Second, how the OPEC member will adjust their oil production. Finally, whether NATO alliance will be eliminating Russia from SWIFT network or not. If so, the financial sector turbulence because of the sanction will surely hamper the demand for oil and eventually decreasing its price. Policymakers in this case should focus on what they can control. For countries who have close tie with Ukraine and Russia, policymakers must pursue agreement for peace. Another key policy to lower the oil price is on the hand of OPEC, as biggest oil producer, and countries like US and China have massive oil reserve. Policymakers in these countries should increase production and release their reserves.
All right. So, Lab 45 has also estimated that this conflict can have a direct snowball effect to Indonesia. Can you explain more about the snowball effect?
Okay. As an example, a portion of Indonesian electricity is generated from fossil fuel power plant, right? Therefore, the rise of crude oil price will be followed by an increase of electricity price. On the other hand, an increase in natural gas price which are used to create fertilizer, will affect the price of fertilizer and food. And all of this will then lead to higher inflation rate.
Right, right, right. That certainly is a lot of things that is going to affect us. In what duration do you think this snowball effect is going to take effect? Are we counting in weeks, or is it going to still be months? What does your research say?
Actually, it's going to depend on the situation in the Ukraine itself. Yeah, just like we
Right.
discussed before, like yeah, so we are still watching what's happening currently. Yeah, the situation is developing rapidly. Like even at this rate, that in this hour, we never know what will happen. Like in the future, like.
Right. It seems like anything can happen in the coming days.
Yeah.
Now, also, what's going to my question is what's going to affect us here in Indonesia is that we have a neighboring superpower itself, China. Now, the way that China is reacting to this situation in Ukraine and Russia, how does their reaction going to affect us here, in Indonesia?
Actually, we can say if Russia has close enough ties with China itself, and Indonesia also, like we are in a natural position. We have like a very tight relation both with like China and also US. So honestly, if just like I said before, actually, we are aware that the situation is developing so rapidly, and I can say if it's quite sensitive and to to comment further on it. So I just think like what I can say is only for Indonesia, I just can't see if we still can take like a neutral in neutral position. So it's hard for Indonesia to take like one side.
Right. Okay. So looking at the rapidly developing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, what country or what factors do you think can put a quick end to the invasion that is happening right now?
Okay. So the answer is Russia is the only one can put an end to this invasion. So Russia has to be the one who stopped making offensive moves. Like what Ukraine can do is at least to declare that it will not join NATO in maybe like 10 or 20 years, and better to declare that it will be a non-aligned country. I think for now, if other countries or NATO or EU or even like UN interfere, or worse, sending military assistance to Ukraine, it can actually even worsen the situation. This is not to put an end to the invasion, but at the very least, what other country can do is to provide humanitarian assistance.
Right. So, does the Western power have more grit or more effect that they can, or more action that they can do to make this conflict end more quickly, Mainda?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yes, Mainda. So Western countries, NATO countries, including the US itself, do they not have more action that they can do to make this conflict end quickly? So the ball here is only in Russia then.
Yeah. From as far as we can see, because it's so sensitive, like Ukraine really has like the very direct borders. So we can see like the very big intention for Russia to take Ukraine back, right? And just like we discussed before, like it's like only Russia is the only one can put the end of this invasion.
All right, very interesting discussion that we have with Indah on how the Ukraine-Russia conflict is going to affect us globally. Thankfully, here in Indonesia, based on your research, we are not going to feel a direct effect of it. However, we might have a snowball effect on commodities that is going to take place in the days of who knows when, depending on how rapid developing this conflict is. Thank you very much, Indah Lestari from Lab 45, for your information, and stay safe.